All right, guys, here's the first video. It's on 3.2 standard form. Kind of a big lesson, so make sure you do a good job taking notes. You should get a classwork from the sub, and this will follow along with it. But you got to warm up here. You can pause the video, answer it, and then resume the video once you got your answer. All right, so for this one, we can see that the vertex is going to be right 2, up 1. So that's going to actually be answer B, because the -2 is right 2, and then the +1 is the up 1. So we're looking at answer B as our right answer for that one. Now, standard form, right? So standard form is a different form. It's not vertex form, but it still is going to graph a parabola. And it's just a different form. It's not as useful. Vertex is great because it gives you the vertex. This does not give you the vertex directly. But the form reads as this. It's f of x, or y, same thing, equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So the a, actually the vertex form had an a as well. This one still has an a. The a is simply going to be, let me see if I can get this going. The a value is our leading coefficient, just like it was in vertex form. And it still does all the same stuff. It tells you if it opens up or down. It tells you if it's vertically stretched or vertically shrunk. It does all the same things that it did for vertex form. It's the same letter. Now, B is a new letter. B is, it's technically what we call the linear coefficient. It's not the leading coefficient or the quadratic coefficient. It's just it's the part that's, whatever. It's the middle number in front of the letter x. So it's not part of the x. It's the whatever's in front of the second x that you see. And then the last thing is called c. That's going to be our constant, which is actually, in terms of a graph, it's great. It's actually our y-intercept. Because if you think about a graph, right, a y-intercept has a value of 0 for x. So if you plugged in 0 for x and 0 for x, it would be the only thing left. So it is our constant, but it's also our y-intercept. Now the big thing for today, all the other things you can get the same from vertex form and from standard form. The big thing today is that the vertex is not given to you in standard form. You have to use this little formula, and it's called x is the negative b divided by 2 times a. So you have to look at the equations a and b values, plug it into that formula, and whatever it spits out is going to be the x coordinate of the vertex. So it's not as easy as just going left and right. You got to do a little bit of math, get the x coordinate. Then the y coordinate is just whatever you would get if you plug in that number. So right, once you have the x coordinate from doing this, plug it in to get the y coordinate, and then you get both coordinates. It's almost like systems of equations. You get the x and you plug it in to get the y, same thing. And then this axis of symmetry, same as it was in vertex form, it's just going to go right through the x coordinate. And so once you have the x coordinate, the axis of symmetry was just x equals that number. This first example, we're going to finish up the video with this example. The second video is going to be the next one, and then the rest of it's just your homework. So for here, I'm going to quickly answer some of the things that we know. I don't know the vertex yet. It's not vertex form, so this is an example that is also standard form. If you want, you can say that the a value is the number in front of x. So if you don't see a value, it's 1. The b value is the next one that you see, so that's -4. And then the c value is the last one, which is +2. You don't have to write those, but I find that kids kind of find that helpful if you write them all out. So up to you. If you just can get it from looking at it, you don't have to write them down separately. But it's a value is positive, so it definitely opens up. Right? I can answer that pretty quickly. Since it opens up, right, I'm going to have a minimum value for the vertex. I just don't know what the value is yet because I don't know what the vertex is. The y-intercept is really not too bad. My y-intercept, again, I would plug in 0 for x, just like I did in vertex form. So it'd be 0 squared minus 4 times 0 plus 2. But as I said on the last slide, the first 2 just get canceled out, so it's just 2. So my y-intercept is 0, 2, or you could just say 2. That's fine. X-intercept I don't really know yet. I'm going to have to graph it and see what I get. So from here, let's do the new material, which would be this whole negative b over 2a stuff. So if I want the vertex, I am going to have to plug in negative b divided by 2a. So x is going to equal negative b over 2a, which in this example, right, you can see my b value is -4. So it's -4, right, because it's negative b. and then over 2a, and I can see that my a value here is 1. So 2 times 1. So negative 4 is really just 4. And 2 times 1 on the bottom is 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay. So my x-coordinate of the vertex is 2. And then I can get my y-coordinate right there if I just plug in 2. So I'm going to actually have to now plug in 2. I kind of ran out of room, so I'm going to do it. I'll do it in green, but I'm going to do it right here. Okay. So I'm going to plug in 2, since that's the x-coordinate, into the equation. So instead of x squared, it's 2 squared minus 4 times, instead of x, I plug in my 2 again, and then I do plus 2. So 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8, and plus 2. So 4 minus 8 is negative 4, and negative 4 plus 2 would be negative 2. So there we go. My y-coordinate is negative 2, and my x-coordinate is positive 2. And so that means my axis of symmetry, that's going to be x equals the x-coordinate, so x equals 2, just like it was in vertex form. My maximum or minimum, I have it as a minimum, and then that value is going to equal the y-coordinate of the vertex, just like it did in vertex form, so it's negative 2, same thing as the y-coordinate of the vertex. And I'm still not going to worry about the x-intercept yet. I'm going to graph it first. So I got my parabola. I'll do it in red. So my vertex is 2, negative 2, right there, right? So 2 comma negative 2. From there, I know that I already have a y-intercept. I might as well use that. So my y-intercept is 0, 2. I'm going to say that's there. I'm going to go ahead and do, sorry, I forgot to do this, but my axis of symmetry. So I'm going to reflect that y-intercept over there. And I have 3 coordinate points. If I wanted a 4th and a 5th, I could certainly plug in a number. So I'll just do that now really quickly. Some questions don't ask you for 5, some just ask you for 3. But we'll say we're asked for 5 coordinate points. So just pick another number. I'm going to plug in 1 because 1's pretty easy. So I'm going to do 1 squared minus 4 times 1 plus 2. And so 1 squared is 1. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2. So, right, 1 minus 4 is negative 3, and negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. So I plugged in 1, and I got negative 1. So 1, negative 1, and I can reflect that. And then that is a good-looking graph. I've gotten those 5 points. And you can see I do have 2 x-intercepts. I just don't know what they are. They didn't hit cleanly, so this is not a graph where I would really worry too much about that one. We'll find strategies to actually get those as we continue in the unit, but that's as far as we're going to go for this one.